Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Buns, Burgers, and Big Ideas. If you don't know me, I'm Nick Schneider. They're making me the host tonight, or today, or this morning, depending on what time you're watching this amazing podcast. We have got an exciting 3-part leadership panel series. We're going to start off today on this episode with leadership journey. And everybody starts off with a journey. And especially when it comes to leadership, it's not where you start, it's where you end in that awesome journey. So we're going to start off introducing our 4 amazing guests that we have on our panel today.
Hi, everybody. My name is Kate Eisenreich. I've been with McDonald's for 15 years, and I'm a general manager at the 11th Street and also at the Samuelson location. And when I think of leadership and something that's so important and motivational, it's got to be that positive attitude.
Hi, my name is Ashlin. I've been with McDonald's for going on 9 years. I'm an assistant in Samuelson, and when I think of leadership, I think of consistency.
Hi, my name is Evelia Lopez. I work at McDonald's for 20 years for assistant for the store manager.
Hello, my name is Icela Sanchez. I am a general manager for the Marengo location and the Hampshire location. When I think about leadership, it's for me, it's standing up for my people.
Very cool. And it's super exciting to have all 4 of these amazing leaders on our panel today. So we've got 4 or 5 questions, and I've kind of chosen which ones we're going to ask to which leader on the panel. So super excited to see their answers and maybe dive in a little bit more of their answers and just their journey so far. All right, to start off with our leadership journey question number 1. This question is going to go to Evelia down at the towards the middle, towards the end there. She is the AGM at our Marengo location. And what was the spark moment for you when you realized leadership was your path?
El querer aprender más cosas de McDonald's no es como estar solo en un solo lugar y creo que el ver gente que está progresando más y uno quiere como aprender más cosas y eso me llevó a como decir, quiero aprender más cosas y quiero avanzarle más a lo que yo he aprendido.
Yeah, I think a lot of leaders kind of share that same idea, but the feeling that we get when we get to see others grow. I have another question for you, Evelia. Is it easy for you to see your growth? And the reason I say that is because while we watch others grow around us, sometimes we grow and we don't see it or feel it. And is there anything special that you do to make sure that you kind of constantly see that growth in yourself?
Sí es muy fácil, porque en primera es fácil la posición que tengo yo pienso que por el store manager, porque si las personas te ayudan, tú aprendes. Y siendo que es como lo que me gusta estoy haciendo y cuando algo te gusta, algo que estás haciendo y te gusta, es más fácil para uno.
Very, very good. Thank you for your answer and thank you for your journey so far. All right, moving on to our next leadership journey question. It is going to be targeted at Ashlin. And Ashlin, my question for you is... Yes, we can laugh about it. It's okay. I'm targeting you, Ashlin. Yes, I got to choose the questions for everybody. But I'm super excited to find out more about you guys and your leadership journey as well. So it's a little selfish. All right. Who or what influenced your leadership style the most early on?
I would say the most early on would have to be when I went out to Belvedere. I switched from one supervisor to another supervisor, so I had to make a lot of changes like early on. So that would have to be like when it most influenced me to like, hey, you got to fix a few things.
So you mentioned that you had a new supervisor. What kind of leadership traits did that supervisor maybe put in you? You said you had to change a few things and learn a few things. What was like one thing that leader really helped you with?
That person was very energetic. It was very energetic. And I wasn't I would say I was outspoken, but I wasn't super outspoken. So it was kind of like, being around somebody that's more energetic was more, hey, you got to speak up and do different things.
It totally makes sense. And you mentioned earlier that you like positive energy. I think that's what you said. What did you say in the beginning?
Consistency.
Well, somebody on the panel said positive energy. And it sounds like when you had that positive reinforcement energy and that supervisor, it really helped you kind of blossom into that new leader, or it helped you blossom further in your leadership. Is that right?
Yes.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you for sharing. And the next question is going to be targeted towards Icela. Maybe I shouldn't say targeted. I chose to ask Icela this question. What's one challenge you faced in your journey that shaped the leader you are today?
There was one time where, like every 6 months we get like the awards for how good we're doing. So there was one time where like the Marengo team, we didn't get any at all. So that was it hurt because I knew we were good, and everyone that will come to the restaurant, they will say, oh, you guys are good, the restaurant is good, you guys are giving results. But then when I got to the, when they were giving away like the awards and we didn't get any, that was where I was like, okay, we're good, but we're not good enough. But for me, it was not to take it like in a bad way. It got better because I went to the team and I told them, okay, so we're good, but we're not there yet. And I want us to get recognized for what we are, because we think we can do more of that. And then we take it from there, and then we got a award, and it was really nice.
Well, thanks, Fran. I'm going to add to that because I remember this specifically. You were so close. Your team was, I think, 1% away from winning that award. And as leaders, it can be really, really tough, especially when we push and we gather facts and we analyze, we make a plan and we execute all the things right, and then we just don't win the game, right, at the end of the year. And you said with that new focus and really keeping that momentum moving forward with the focus that you had with your team, what happened the next year?
Yeah, we got the General Manager Award.
Awesome. You and your team helped you get that, right? Yeah, that was awesome. So really cool. So do you think that sometimes failure is what makes us to be the best leaders?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. Yes. All right, back to our next leadership journey question. This question is going to be aimed towards Kate. And if you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice about leadership, Kate, what would it be?
That's a great question. So I think that the biggest thing is, and it's so common in so many walks of life, but don't sweat the small stuff. That, at the end of the day, as long as everybody's happy and we're doing what we need to do to be building the business, those little tiny things, you're not going to remember a week from now, a month from now, a year from now. So why dwell on them in the moment and potentially change the outcome because your attitude's not there? In the past, I have definitely been somebody who will harbor some feelings and things like that. And just knowing myself now that that's not something that I do, it's completely changed my leadership journey. And I wish that I would have figured it out 15 years ago.
No, I think that's awesome. And Kate, I'm going to ask you kind of just elaborate a little bit more, but understanding ourselves and that emotional intelligence with ourselves is, I think, something that we miss, or it's tough for us to learn as leaders. So is there a best bet for you to kind of say, hey, you're going to have ego and you're going to have these things to judge and to manage? What's the best emotional intelligence for ourselves to understand? And is there an easy way to do that?
So I think that absorbing from every single person that you work with is so important. And it can't just be those great moments that you take things away from. You need to keep in mind that even in those tougher moments, you're probably learning something. And when you can recognize that makes that emotional intelligence with anybody that you're working with a lot easier.
These questions have been amazing, and this panel has been awesome. All right, so far our leadership journey has been really amazing, and we have one question, and I'm going to kind of just open it up to the panel, and if you feel like you want to answer it, or if we all want to answer it, we can. It's this: what's the biggest misconception people have about becoming a leader?
For me, I think it's sometimes when someone becomes a leader, things like it's going to be like you have to be talking a lot, and then the people just listening, but it's the other way around. You're gonna be more, you have to be more listening than talking. So that's something that I have learned.
Yeah, and I'll elaborate because I'm really bad at that one. I used to be really bad, and it's part of that emotional intelligence that we kind of learn about ourselves is you have to listen to understand. And especially as leaders, a lot of times we just listen, yeah, okay. yeah, I gotcha. Okay, Icela, let's go. Like really, like you said, I'm really happy that you said that because a lot of times as leaders, we're so busy and we're so caught up in the whirlwind. Take the time to listen to your team. I used to always say, listen to the restaurant. Like the restaurant's going to tell you if we just listen. So awesome. Thanks for answering that. And then also, as we flex this muscle of understanding and listening, the good acronym that we like to use is WAIT. Why am I talking? So every time you want to talk, ask yourself that question. Wait, why am I talking? And that uncomfortable silence, get used to it because that's the most important. That's when we're learning.
I think a lot of times when somebody's new into a leadership role, they look at it as, oh, I'm a boss now and, I'm big and bad and I'm going to come in and I'm going to rule the roost and so on and so forth. And that is 100% not a leader. It might be a boss, but it's not a leader. Just a quick side note, when I started at one of my new restaurants, when I met one of the new managers, she said, "Oh, you're my new big boss." And I said, "No, I'm your new teammate." And that's really honestly what a leader should be saying and doing. And we're all on the same team and nobody's here to be better than anybody else. So.
Yeah, it's a great point, Kate. Like Maxwell's four roles in leadership, 4 levels of leadership. And that's definitely the level 1. So you're right on point when we become those new leaders. It's like, I got the new name tag. It says general manager, or it says leader on there. And that's one of the fun levels of learning when it comes to leadership. So awesome. Yeah, at the end of the day, panel, like leadership's super easy, right? Like there's nothing.
Oh yeah.
It's not that easy. So like, I'm going to ask this question. What is the easiest part about leadership, if there is such a thing?
I think it's accepting when other people do well and being able to celebrate those wins with everybody. When one wins, we all win. And so that's, I don't know if it's the easiest part, but it is the easiest part because it's the most fun part. So I definitely think that's what it is.
All right. Well, that concludes this session of the Buns, Burgers, and Big Ideas with the panel. We have our next session coming up next week. So stay tuned. Hit that like and subscribe button to make sure that you get all the notifications for every episode that comes up. All right. Buns, Burgers, and Big Ideas. Thank you, panel. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us on Buns, Burgers, and Big Ideas. We hope today's episode inspired fresh ideas for your leadership journey. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode and keep learning with us as we continue to explore leadership in the QSR world. Until next time, take care and lead well.